Tupac Shakur became one of the best-selling music artists of all time, managing to sell over 75 million records before his untimely death at the age of 25. In September 1996, Tupac was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting after attending a boxing match. The last known photograph taken of Tupac shows him sitting in the same car that he was killed in, only hours before the fatal shooting. Unsuspecting of what awaits him later that night, Tupac was driving to a party with manager Suge Knight. The photographer never suspected the significance of that very simple, spontaneous shot of Tupac enjoying the evening. Hollywood A-lister Heath Ledger died at the age of 28 from an overdose on prescribed medication. One of the final images taken of Ledger is in costume for his role in the movie he would not live to see released, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Ironically, he's seen in an eerie clown costume, resembling the look he sported for the role of the Joker in The Dark Knight, which is the role that led to his eventual demise. The filming of the movie resulted in Ledger suffering from severe insomnia. He described the state as having a tired body, but a mind that wouldn't stop working. He started taking medication in hopes of inducing sleep, but unfortunately, the dosage resulted in death. In December 1980, John Lennon, former member of the Beatles, was killed by Mark David Chapman in front of his apartment building in New York. Chapman waited for Lennon and asked for his autograph. Cameras captured the moment when Lennon unknowingly signed a copy of his album Double Fantasy and handed it back to the man who would only hours later end his life. As Lennon returned home from his recording session, he noticed Chapman still standing in front of the building, only to be shot dead as he turned his back. Chapman fired 5 bullets as Lennon walked by, leaving him dead on the spot. Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple Incorporated, was famous for being one of the most successful entrepreneurs and inventors of all time. Jobs died in October 2011 in his California home after a long battle against pancreatic cancer. The last photograph ever taken of Jobs shows him accompanied by a friend months before his death. An obviously frail Jobs is being helped into his car. Signs of weakness resulting from the struggle with the disease are showing on Jobs. As he tries to leave the home he will pass away in only 2 months later. Rapper Notorious B.I.G., or Biggie for short, was a presenter at the 1997 Soul Train Music Awards when he was shot and killed. After the ceremony, Biggie attended the after-party at the Peterson Automotive Museum. Around midnight, he and P. Diddy took a photo together, seconds before leaving the party. Biggie got into an SUV and drove off. Only 50 yards later, a black car pulled beside Biggie's car waiting at a red light. An anonymous man pulled down the window and fired at Biggie, killing him on the spot with 4 bullets. The final photo shows him in good spirits, literally minutes before he would unexpectedly meet his death. Steve Irwin, also known as the Crocodile Hunter, was an Australian TV personality and creator of many famous wildlife documentaries. The last known photo of Irwin was taken on a boat with a friend. The thumbs up shows Irwin's enthusiasm about the filming which was to follow, and eventually led to his death. Irwin was filming the documentary called Ocean's Deadliest when he was ironically killed by a stingray, an animal not usually considered life-threatening. Irwin was diving above the fish in shallow water when the creature felt cornered and overreacted. The fish stabbed Irwin through his chest and killed him on the spot. Amy Winehouse was unfortunately not only famous for her music, but for her battle with alcohol addiction as well. Winehouse gave a scandalous final performance in Serbia in 2011, during which she was so intoxicated she could barely mumble and was booed off stage after only 30 minutes. Winehouse canceled the rest of her tour and went back to London to recuperate. She was sober for 2 weeks. The final photos of the singer taking a stroll through town show a healthy, high-spirited young woman. There was no indication that only 2 days after she had been spotted looking better than ever, she would relapse and drink herself to death. Winehouse died of alcohol poisoning at her home. Bob Marley is arguably the world's most famous reggae artist to have ever lived. Marley died at the early age of 36 due to the spreading of cancer. On the last photo ever taken of Marley, he is seen in a weakened state, weighing a mere 77 pounds. The photo was taken during a family visit in Munich, where he was receiving treatment. Unfortunately, Marley's cancer was so advanced that it couldn't be cured. After 8 months of fighting the disease with medication as well as special diets, Marley left Munich to go back to Jamaica, where he finally passed away. The photograph shows his last days in Germany. Jimi Hendrix is by many considered one of the most influential electric guitarists in the history of popular music. Sadly, Hendrix died at the early age of 27. He spent his last day with Monika Dannemann, who took his last ever photograph. The photo shows Jimi holding his guitar while enjoying his final cup of tea. The couple had shared a meal hours before Dannemann would find Hendrix breathing but unresponsive in their bed. Hendrix died of asphyxia, choking on his own vomit, induced by overdosing on barbiturates. The peaceful image of Hendrix and the teapot surrounded with greenery is hardly suggestive of the grim event that followed. Princess Diana was by far the most beloved member of the British royal family, loved for her personality, charity work, and for her beauty. Princess Diana became an international celebrity. Unfortunately, her fame is exactly what brought on her demise. The princess died tragically in a car crash while attempting to escape the paparazzi. Chased by the ruthless photographers, the car that Diana was in crashed, killing her instantly, seconds before the lethal accident. One of the photographers she was running away from managed to get one last shot of her golden hair as she is attempting to hide from the cameras.